originally, let's just listen.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. Well, we've made the journey down to Northamptonshire today to Sywell Aerodrome for the Sywell Airshow, and very different set of aircraft today that you're going to see from a couple of weeks ago when I was at the NATO Tiger meet. This is a Warbird air show, so yeah, old wartime aircraft, and as you can see behind us we've got a couple of Corsairs parked up, and the flight line's full of different aircraft. We've got Hurricanes and Spitfires, and Spitfires just come in actually, so yeah, can't wait for the action to get going. Hopefully you can just hear that Merlin now as the Spitfire taxis in, but yeah, it's a bit dull and overcast today, but we've got a bit of breaks in the cloud, and hopefully the sun's going to come out later for the flying, which starts at 1 o'clock, and rumour has it there's going to be an F-35 and a Mustang to open the show for today only, so really lucky that we've chosen the right day, and let's hope that that rumour comes true. But we've got a couple of hours before flying starts, so we're going to have a quick walk around the static, see what's about, and then hopefully the next bit that you see on this video will be an F-35 in close formation with a Mustang. Fingers crossed. Catch up in a bit.
This is the A model of the F-35. The three models we have: the F-35A with the US Air Force, the F-35B, which is flown by the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy based at RF Marham, but this is the A model, which comes from the 495th Fighter Squadron, the Valkyries at Lakenheath. You just see that beautiful vortex. He's bringing in for a few individual passes now just to give us some lovely jet noise before we go into more nostalgia.
I was rather hoping he was going to, I must say.
He's actually put his undercarriage down now, looking straight ahead. You can see he's configured the aircraft. He's going to give us a low approach to the runway. This is the A model of the F-35, which is the conventional takeoff and landing. The F-35B is the vertical landing short takeoff version, which is what the UK military operates.
The button on my B-17 history while we went through these amazing fighter planes. Take off and do that. It's 200 miles per hour. B-17 produced all the way, and of course was a mainstay of the mighty 8th Air Force, as well as the 15th Air Force in Italy. And just a phenomenal aircraft. Again, could take huge amounts of punishment. But also, does anyone who's seen Masters of the Universe, 1989?
It was 1990, which makes me feel incredibly old.
I actually watched it again not very long ago. push could do 10. On the other hand, they are designed for slightly different roles. B-17, it's a payoff, but you know, that's why nearly 50% of all those who flew in Bomber Command didn't make it home. It's always a payoff. I remember talking to a crew member, I think he was the either the navigator or the bombardier, I can't remember. Yeah, that's more than enough for a couple of Bouchons. And they still made it home. That's the amazing thing, isn't it? Say that's the happy, but honestly, it's just fabulous, isn't it? A beast, but a beautiful beast. hours, more like 100 hours or even less, 90. And of course it's complete lambs to the slaughter. Edge of Hamlet, Amel is a German where Nocker was brought up and where he was recruited by the Luftwaffe in the summer of 1940. And he flies back over the houses of Hamlet. This thing starting up here at the far end of the line. And I do know, ladies and gentlemen, that Danielle on the top there giving us a wave can see you waving, so please give her a big, big wave as Emiliano pulls very tight. That can't be easy for Danielle. Her leg is straight out in front of her now. She's putting at least 4G in this aerobatic routine. Still got her leg forward. Speed. And now it's time for Emiliano to fly even more gently. As you can see, at the trailing edge of the wing, Danielle is actually stepping down, rather to line the aircraft up on the display line. Standing on that trailing edge of the wing, the aircraft. She is on that left wing, standing, giving us a wave, which I think is absolutely incredible. Very steep dive. She's now laying across the wires, holding the wings there, ladies and gentlemen, pulling up into a loop as Danielle is laying between the wings, with her arm outstretched. Unbelievable. Very tight barrel roll there as well. Danielle is still laid there. I think she's starting to move again now. You can see her standing back on that lower wing. She'll start positioning back towards the cockpit, I assume.
No, she's going further out.
No, I'm wrong. She's actually gone even further out on the wing by the looks of it. Everybody, slow speed pass. Let's give her a huge wave. Faith in your husband.
You're telling me?
Now, I think this is even crazier. Ladies and gentlemen, get your cameras out. Danielle is hanging upside down from that lower wing with her arms outstretched. That cannot be comfortable.
Impressive stomach muscles as well.
There we go, so Emiliano. we're going to see a landing here.
You might think you know a lot about the Second World War, but you don't know everything.
Here we go, Emiliano bringing it down for a lovely soft landing, I hope, on runway 23. A big wave to Emiliano and Danielle. Please put your hands together for 46 Aviation, Danielle and Emiliano. That was absolutely fantastic. I'm blown away by some of that performing. I've not seen that display before. I've seen a lot of wing walking in the air shows I've been to, but I've never seen a performance quite like that. So bravo to Danielle and Emiliano.
One of the things that fighter pilots often talk about their battles in the Second World War is how they're in the middle of a melee 1 minute and the next minute the skies are completely empty. And we've been fortunate enough.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Something completely different.
Well, they say it's all about communication, James, and we clearly don't have any communication with the control tower because this aircraft was actually due in. In fact, that's a little bit early. Yeah, that's how bad. We've actually been talking about those guys, but they're holding over this. So
Vulcan 607, of course, most recently Mosquito, and a big fan of all these planes. And also, you published.
Indeed, Northamptonshire carrier pilot, very, very pleased to be able to bring back into print after discovering it as a teenager back in the 80s. Originally, let's just listen to them. Originally, the Corsair was not
It probably is good. I mean, it doesn't always work out, but for the most part it does.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah, what's not to like?
But James, do you know when the Corsair scored its last aerial victory?
No, it must be Korea or something.
1969.
Football war.
The football war. The Corsairs came up against Mustangs in skies over Central America. Consolidated with this is really, it was really process. So unusual, so strong.
Favourite Pacific Navy plane.
Bearcat barely sort of scratched the surface in 1945. It didn't really see service in the war, did it? We were in the hands of the Hellcats and the Corsairs principally. But the Bearcat,
There it is, here it comes. This is quick, really quick. We're just going to shut up now.
And this thing, folks, really is the pinnacle of piston engine fighter design. This will fit around a huge radial piston engine, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of shrink wrapped to fit.
It's rather dinky and nimble as hell, isn't it?
In those sort of transitional years between the piston engine Bearcats, Seafuels, and particularly the C547, which was a contemporary control, and there's still a real value. The jets were often short-ranged. They were largely underpowered by other generation of jets, and so the Bearcat, the Seafuel, and the Seafire, they were the interceptors of choice. They could reach 10,000 feet much more quickly than
Now, really?
anything would do.
Dustin. Taking off. First servicing the area. First plane 1945. Very rugged plane. Bit like that Wildcat. Very nimble, very manoeuvrable. And the development of the Hawker Tempest. The Hawker Tempest came in two forms, the radial engine one and the inline. Could argue that the Hurricane was better than the Spitfire Mark 1 in 1940. It just was. But it was still a very, very good fighter plane, certainly for 1940. The numbers count. Repaired engines by 145%. It's so quick.
4-point roll there from Paul as he puts the Fury through its paces. A lot of you will know the name Paul Bonhomme from his experience flying many Warbirds in the airshow scene, but also as the world champion of the Red Bull Air Race. It was flying in its guise as the Red Bull Air Race back in the mid-2000s.
Watching Richard Grace and his team put it back to pieces over the last few years, and it's just brilliant to see it flying again and doing what it should be doing, which is manoeuvring around the sky very noisily, very fast. B-25 in front, Mustang on the left, Corsair on the right, P-38 at the back. P-38 of course is by Lockheed, just listed here and there. Wow, now breaking away to do its own display now. Power was really roost. Served all around the globe, all theatres, Italy, Africa, Far East. He's very much enjoying flying this today. Yeah, I mean, look at it, you can see how kind of manoeuvrable it is. I mean, it's really much more... Really pretty delicately, isn't it? Because by the beginning of April 1944, the fighter planes and the heavy bombers really had enabled the skies to be clear of Luftwaffe fighter planes. Another major operation was Operation Strangle, which in April 1944 in Italy ahead of the last major attack. Operation Diadem, the Battle for Rome. Indian bombers were mainstays of this, operating very successfully in the Mediterranean. I think that's so lush, I've just had to take a pause from the commentary, which I'm sure you'll agree is no bad thing.
Now looking over to your right, in the lead now we have the P-38 going up into a 3-ship loop with that P-51 on his left wing and the Corsair on the right. Amazing formation as they apex the top of the loop. The sun popped out just the wrong time there, certainly for all you photographers trying to get that second formation loop. pointing out that flying formation aerobatics is a skill in itself, but to do it in 3 different types of aircraft, where the aircraft perform very differently, the speed differential on top of these manoeuvres, the wing loading as the speed changes, every one of them is different. So the pilot's working very hard and doing a grand job during this routine. Expertly piloting the P-51 is Eskil Amdor.
We're sitting in the commentary box, aren't we? Nodding and grinning with approval at this. It's just fabulous.
We keep having to go outside because we can't quite see the formation. Flying the Corsair is Eric Goujon. Eric is a French pilot who he's been flying a lot of various types throughout his career. He started as a Mirage pilot in the French Air Force, and he's flying Spitfires and Corsairs in France and with the Flying Bulls. So he is again a very experienced Warbird display pilot. Now we've just gone into a 3-ship led by the P-38, followed by the P-51 and the Corsair for a beautiful 3-ship tail chase. So camera's ready for this. To tail chasing is, of course, I mentioned the performance differences in these aircraft. So, Second World War. April 1943, out in the Pacific. They were also used very extensively in North Africa and China. Just watch this. Absolutely beautiful. So from the right hand side, camera's ready for another pass by the Flying Bulls. P-38 on final with his smoke on. So we're actually waiting just for that pair of Spitfires to get airborne. Shortly, Eric coming in the Corsair. So as Eric touches down to your right in the Corsair, I think you'll agree with me, a thoroughly enjoyable performance by the Flying Bulls. So please show them your appreciation. A round of applause for the Flying Bulls. The two Spitfires you saw get airborne have disappeared. They're just cooling their engines ready for their performance shortly. But that's rather novel, taking off straight from the flight line as they go to full power. Who needs a long runway when you've got a triplane or a vintage biplane? I wasn't expecting that, I have to admit.
Trial version in 1917, the back end of 1917, when it didn't really enter proper service, frontline service, as the DR1, which is what we're looking at the moment, until February the 17th. The Red Baron scored the last of his 17 comparatively short run. Production of these was really brief. So experimental ones in September 1917, first production run from October 1917, cantilever wing and improved ability to climb and excessive maneuverability. Top speed of the D7, 1220 maybe on a good day. But they're still pretty nimble. I mean, looking at these now, Mike, as a pilot yourself, I mean...
I mentioned his name already, so that's Stu Goldsmith in the 7 there, who's the pilot flying.
And the Immelmann is still a kind of known procedure, and of course that was from the German First World War fighter race somewhere.
This is one of the tightest displays I think I've ever seen. It's not even going outside the... I'm sure of everyone who's here today. There are,
And besides the Griffin as well, we're going to be seeing some Griffin engine Spitfires as well. Increased horsepower, and of course the fact that coming into service in the middle of the war is testimony to the fundamental brilliance of the design behind the Spitfire, whether it's a Mark 1 or whether it's a Mark 22. Or whether it's a Mark 14 with a big Griffin engine in it. No one can mistake a Spitfire when they see it. Even was R.J. Mitchell is rightly lauded as the chief designer of Supermarine and the inventor of the Spitfire, but it's very much a team effort down there.
So is there some... very different sound to the Griffin engine. FR fighter reconnaissance, so it looks like the Griffin aircraft are now peeling out to the south, where I'm sure if you look behind you, you can see 7 aircraft already in formation. Those two
What sort of speed are they doing there, Mike?
it looks around sort of 250, 280.
Spitfires. Get ready, people.
So I'm going to keep quiet now, I think. out a bit. You heard Paul on the radio there. The only thing that happens is just releasing the back pressure on the control column, so less G. So he's catering for the wind there. What he doesn't want is the wind blowing the formation towards the crowd and coming closer than he's allowed, as dictated by the rules from the Civil Aviation Authority. So letting it out a bit, as he said, round the back, this means he can fly the formation without getting affected by the wind and blowing over the crowd line. And now tightening, that's the opposite. He's pulling back on the stick just to pull a little bit more G and tighten the turn to complete this fly past. Right, said Paul. The middle of the formation, furthest away from us now, but in the middle on the right hand side is George Hay flying his Suffolk Spitfire RW382, that's a Mark 16. And on the left wing of that middle formation is Ben Cox flying in ML407, known as the Grey Spitfire, two-seat version of the Mark 9. Leading the back three in a Mark 9 is Dan Griffith, and then he's joined by Alex Smee and Bryce O'Hain in the FR14s. This is the last pass of the formation, says Paul. After this, we'll be powering up for tail chase. So, in from the right.
Good, that.
I've got goosebumps. I'm sure many people in the audience have goosebumps too, but that sound is incredible, truly magical. Powering up for tail chase now. They're going to split the formation, complex in itself, to try and get 9 aircraft now into a tail chase. So that's what they're doing over to our front left. I talked about tail chasing, the intricacies of using lead and lag geometry to keep in the formation, but Paul now going to lead a 9-ship tail chase. Doesn't look real. It looks like one of those photoshopped pictures where you see one aircraft and type stills of the photos, but it is real, ladies and gentlemen. round off the Spitfire finale, but we do have LH434 right to left. ML407, sorry, the Great Spitfire, Thermo Bangkok's, showing off those D-Day invasion stripes, those black and white stripes. She's been painted in those this year to recognise the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Don't forget, you can fly in this very aircraft here at Sywell. Warbird.flights.co.uk, the back seat gives you a feeling of what it was like for all of those pilots during the Second World War flying the Spitfire. You will have a magical time. It's a true honour to fly this aircraft and to give those passenger experiences, and the number of people that get emotional is astounding. I think that was a truly fabulous way to end the daytime part of the Sywell Airshow 2024. So please, if you enjoyed that 9-ship Spitfire performance, please put your hands together and thank everybody who took part, and to Richard and Paul for choreographing what was truly superb.
Well, what a fantastic day we've had. Oh, those Griffins and the Merlins and that 9 Spitfire fly past that formation show was, oh, that was the icing on the cake. That was, thoroughly enjoyed it. What a great day. And the P-38 and the B-25 and oh, those Red Bull flyers, absolutely fantastic. And I say that F-35, when that came through this morning, was, oh, that was brilliant as well. It's been a fantastic day. Definitely worth coming. If you haven't been to Sywell before, I'll definitely be back. I mean, it's on again tomorrow, but we've got things on. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. But and I've met some nice folk today and had some great chats. And so yeah, all in all, fantastic day. Got a bit more of a suntan, and yeah, job's a good one. So look forward to your comments, guys. And Harry's been flat out with the stills, so I might incorporate, well, you'll have seen them by now, but I'm probably planning on incorporating some of his stills. He's been on the camera all day, so I've been video, he's been stills, and I think between it, hopefully it's made up a nice video. You'll have seen it by now. So yeah, look forward to your comments, guys, and we'll catch up soon. I think probably the next video will be, I think we're going to try and get a bit night flying in from Coningsby, so that might be in a couple of weeks' time, and then it'll be Riyadh. We'll be off to Fairford, so yeah, can't wait. So plenty of aviation videos to come, but yeah, look forward to your comments, guys, and job's a good one. Take care, catch up soon.